Brianna, 29, had just given birth a week ago, but her life unraveled in less than 48 hours after accidentally handing her baby to the wrong person. Now, she sits alone in their apartment with her newborn, her husband's belongings gone, and the threat of divorce looming, all while her episiotomy stitches are still healing. Brianna's vision blurred as she swayed on her feet, the exhaustion of labor still clinging to her like a second skin. The hospital room smelled of antiseptic and wilted flowers, the fluorescent lights humming softly above. Her husband, Daniel, had stepped out to call his parents, just for a moment, he promised. Then the nurse came in. Or at least Brianna thought she was a nurse. The woman wore scrubs, her dark hair pulled into a neat bun, her smile practiced and calm. "Time for the baby's checkup," she said, arms outstretched. Brianna, drugged with fatigue and painkillers, didn't think. She passed her newborn into those waiting hands. The door clicked shut. 5 minutes later, Daniel returned, his face falling as he took in the empty bassinet. "Where's Lily?" Brianna blinked. "The nurse took her." Daniel's blood drained from his face. "What nurse?" A cold fist squeezed Brianna's heart. The scream of the hospital alarm shattered the silence. Security footage showed the woman in scrubs walking briskly down the hallway, Lily swaddled snugly in her arms. Then nothing. A blind spot near the emergency exit. No license plates, no witnesses. Daniel didn't yell. That was worse. His voice was a razor wrapped in silk. "You gave our daughter to a stranger." Brianna's stitches burned as she sobbed. "I thought. You didn't think." His words were final. By dawn, Lily was found, abandoned in a church pew, unharmed but freezing. Relief was short-lived. Daniel packed his suitcase that evening. The apartment was too quiet without the sound of Daniel's keys in the door. Brianna rocked Lily, staring at the divorce papers on the coffee table. 1 week postpartum, and her marriage was a corpse. Her phone buzzed. An unknown number. "You should have held on tighter." Brianna's breath stopped. The doorbell rang. Brianna's arms tightened around Lily as she stared at the door. The buzzing phone slipped from her fingers, the ominous message still glowing on the screen. "You should have held on tighter." The doorbell rang again, sharper this time. Her legs trembled as she forced herself forward, the hardwood floor cold beneath her bare feet. She peeked through the peephole. A deliver man stood there, holding a small white box. "Brianna Carter?" he called. Her throat went dry. She hadn't ordered anything. Daniel wouldn't send a gift.
Not now.
She cracked the door open just enough to take the box, her fingers brushing the plain lid. No return address. Inside, nestled in tissue paper, lay a tiny silver rattle, engraved with a single word. "Mine." Brianna slammed the box shut, her pulse roaring in her ears. Lily whimpered in her arms, as if sensing her mother's terror. She dialed Daniel with shaking hands. It went straight to voicemail. The nursery monitor crackled to life. Static hissed, then a whisper, soft, feminine. "She's prettier when she sleeps." Brianna spun toward the monitor screen. The camera showed Lily's crib, the mobile spinning gently, and a hand, pale and slender, reaching down to stroke the empty mattress. Brianna's scream lodged in her throat. She sprinted to the nursery, Lily clutched tight against her chest. The room was empty. The window, though, slightly open. A breeze fluttered the curtains. Then she saw it. Fogged on the glass, as if from a breath, were 2 words smeared in condensation. "I'm closer." Downstairs, the front door creaked open. The creak of the front door froze Brianna's blood. Lily let out a soft whimper, her tiny fingers curling into Brianna's shirt. Silence. Then footsteps.
Slow.
Deliberate. Brianna backed against the nursery wall, her eyes darting to the rocking chair, the diaper bag, anything she could use as a weapon. The monitor's screen flickered, still showing the empty crib. A shadow stretched across the hallway. The woman stepped into view. Not a nurse. Not a stranger. The face was familiar, hauntingly so. Dark hair. That same practiced smile. But now, her eyes gleamed with something manic. "You didn't even recognize me." the woman whispered, tilting her head. After everything Daniel told me about you. Brianna's breath hitched. Daniel? The woman took another step forward, her hand slipping into her pocket. He said you'd be careless. A glint of metal. A syringe. Lily began to cry. Brianna's back hit the wall. Nowhere left to run. The woman's smile widened. Daniel wanted a fresh start, she murmured, tapping the syringe. But he couldn't just leave you. Not with her. Her gaze dropped to Lily. So, he hired me to make sure you'd let go. The pieces crashed together. The wrong nurse, the staged kidnapping, the way Daniel had looked at her after. Like she was a failure. Brianna's fear ignited into fury. She lunged, not away but forward, snatching the heavy diaper bag and swinging it hard. The woman staggered. The syringe clattered to the floor. Somewhere downstairs, a door slammed. Brianna? Daniel's voice echoed up the stairs. Concerned. Perfectly timed. The woman hissed, scrambling for the syringe. Brianna kicked it under the crib, then snatched Lily and bolted for the closet, just as Daniel appeared in the doorway. His eyes darted from the intruder to Brianna, his face twisting. Not shock. Frustration. You're supposed to be gone by now, he snapped at the woman. Brianna's heart shattered. Lily wailed as the woman laughed, high and unhinged. She fights harder than you said, Danny. Daniel's jaw tightened. He reached into his coat. Brianna didn't wait to see what he pulled out. She smashed the nursery window with the diaper bag and screamed into the night. Brianna's scream tore through the night, raw and desperate. Neighbors' lights flicked on. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked. Daniel lunged for her, but she was faster. She shoved the rocking chair into his path and hurled herself toward the shattered window. Cold air rushed in, biting her skin as she clutched Lily to her chest. Brianna, Daniel roared. Not pleading. A warning. She didn't look back. One leg over the sill, then the other. The drop to the porch roof wasn't far, but her body screamed in protest, stitches pulling, muscles trembling. Lily's cries mixed with the wind. Behind her, the woman laughed.
Run, then.
See how far you get. Brianna jumped. Her bare feet hit the wet grass just as the first sirens wailed in the distance. She ran past the driveway, into the street, not toward the sound of help, but away. Because the truth was worse than a stranger in the night. It was the man she loved, standing in the nursery, watching her go. And the glint of a wedding ring as he slowly pulled out his phone.